Good evening. This is Scott with the Sawtooth Avalanche Center with your weekend update for February 18th, issued on Friday. And just a gentle reminder, this product is not meant to replace the daily avalanche forecast, so be sure to check that out at 7:30 a.m. each morning. So the way that these weekend updates run, we're going to look at what happened in the past week, look at the present conditions, and take a quick peek out into the future, what to expect over the weekend and in the coming work week. So a brief recap. We had a little bit of snow around Valentine's Day on Tuesday, not a lot, but freshened things up a little bit, and generally cool, sunny weather. Warm enough in spots so you could get some good corn skiing or corn riding in, but a pretty quiet week all in all. So the danger was low for the entire week. Very little in the way of specific avalanche problems. If we look at what the danger ratings were, there you have 6 straight days of low from Sunday through today on Friday, and it was the same for all zones. That storm on Tuesday, if you can call it a storm, we had 2 to 4 inches of new snow in the Banner Summit area, Sawtooths, and Western Smokies, about 1 to 3 inches around Galena Summit. And then unfortunately, the losers in this round were the Southern Mountains. So the mountains closer to Ketchum, Haley, Fairfield, Cary, Bellevue, where not very much snow fell. If we look at avalanche activity over the past month, another kind of grim picture, and this just shows any avalanches that are size D2 or bigger. So a D2 slide is big enough to bury people. And the last one of those we had recorded within our forecast area was on January 22nd up in the Sawtooth Mountains. So no significant avalanche activity this week either. We did have a couple smaller avalanches. So these are not D2s. They're not big enough to bury people. So we would call them D1s. And this was a small wind slab that was triggered in the Warm Springs drainage on a generally shady slope. And the interesting thing with the wind slabs right now, even though they're really thin and really small, they can be really touchy or sensitive because a lot of the wind drifts are forming on top of either sheets of ice or very icy surfaces if they form on the southerly aspects when the winds blow from the north, or conversely, when they form on really shady aspects, they form on really weak, sugary, faceted snow that's formed during our 5-week-long or 6-week-long and counting dry spell. So even though they're not big, they can be really touchy and kind of catch you off guard, and they can travel quite quickly on either the icy surfaces or the weak snow. And we also had a few wet avalanches last week too, not as many as the week previously, but these were generally occurring in places like in the photo where it's really rocky, very steep, and sheltered from the wind as well. This was out in the Warm Springs drainage, basically across the road from where that other avalanche was. So the present today on Friday, it's low danger at all zones and all elevations, and the outlook for tomorrow on Saturday is the same. So low danger, all zones, all aspects. Check in tomorrow to make sure nothing changes there. And then what's going to happen in the future? So looking into this weekend, the weather. So we're expecting a nice sunny day tomorrow, where a few degrees warmer than today, a little bit breezy, but should be a beautiful day to be out in the mountains riding or skiing, snowboarding, snowshoeing, whatever it is. Great day to get outside. And then Sunday we have a little transition. So we're going to shift to a cooler, unsettled pattern for at least a few days, where it's significantly colder. The winds should kick up, and we'll have some light snow showers too. We're in the northern and western mountains right now. The weather models are predicting a trace to 2 inches, less snow down south, closer to Ketchum and Haley and Fairfield and Cary. So definitely not a big snow producer, but at least there'll be some light snow showers. The danger and problems for the weekend, we should see things remaining fairly steady or slightly increasing. Don't expect any huge changes in the avalanche danger. And it will be most dangerous at upper elevations. The reason for that's pretty simple. That's where the most snow and the most wind will occur. So it'll snow more up high than it will down low, and it'll be windier up high than down low. So we have that possibility of another round of those small fresh wind slabs to develop, especially in alpine terrain and really any exposed terrain. So near exposed ridge lines where the wind can really blow. especially on the very steep slopes. That'll be where you'd be most likely to find one of these that you could trigger. And looking into the crystal ball, so ahead to next week, the weather graphic there, the pictures and the temperatures, that's for the lower Titus, say Galena Summit area, so up just above the top of the pass, Galena Summit area. And on Monday and Tuesday, it's showing combined maybe 1 to 4 inches of snow. Not a big snow producer. There is some uncertainty with it just because it is a few days out. And as we get into spring, weather models do tend to become a little bit less accurate. The patterns can change really rapidly. So it's tougher for them to say what's going to happen 3 or 4 days out. So I'm saying there's a chance. Keep your fingers crossed. Maybe this one will overproduce in a big way instead of underproducing. There is a fairly high confidence that it's going to cool off a lot. So you can see the highs on Tuesday are 20 degrees colder than the highs on Saturday. So expect it to be cold and breezy and definitely some snow. Hopefully the models are under predicting it. We get a little bit more than what's shown, but it doesn't look to be the big dump that we're waiting for. So the danger and problems next week, light snow showers plus wind. So we'll continue either building the existing wind slabs that start forming on Sunday or create fresh ones as we kind of go through this unsettled period from at least Sunday through Tuesday. With it being that cold, we'll have a really minimal chance, almost no chance of seeing true wet, loose avalanches like we have for the past couple of weeks. But anywhere it snows more than a few inches, the spring sunshine, as the sun gets higher in the sky as we get closer to March, it doesn't take much time at all for that sun, even if it pops out for just an hour, to change the surface snow just a little bit. So where you have a few inches or more of new snow, it can just give it a little bit more cohesion in the top, and you'll get these sloughs coming down naturally. So I'd expect that wherever we do get, more than a few inches of snow, that you'll need to pay attention to not only what's at your feet or what's right below your sled, but what's above you. You'll want to watch for that just to make sure one of these sloughs doesn't come down. They can travel really fast, especially on those icy surfaces that we've developed. So even though they may not be big enough to bury you, they're definitely big enough to knock you off your feet and take you places where you don't want to go, tweak a knee. Definitely something to be aware of as we move into next week. So you can sign up to have the forecast emailed to you. If you're not doing that already, you'll get an email right around 7:30 each morning. And if you don't already have the forecast emailed to you, be sure to check it. Again, this product isn't a substitute for it. It's always good to read what the forecasters are thinking right off the bat in the morning. Where you do that is the bottom of every page on the website. You just enter your email address in there and you're good to go. You'll get it in your inbox then every time. For observations, we try to get out to every little nook and cranny of the forecast area, but it's hard to do that over the course of an entire year, let alone every day or every week. So we really depend on what you, the public, are seeing when you're out there, as long as professionals and other folks, regular observers who are giving us info. So even though the conditions are, kind of quiet, if you do see anything interesting, whether it's some giant surface hoar crystals on the surface or you see some sloughs, please let us know. A variety of ways you can do that. You can either screenshot this, or on the bottom of every page on the website, on the bottom left-hand side, you can click that button or text them to us or just tag us on social media. So with that, think snow, do any kind of snow dance that you can, and let's hope for a big March.